I went for a slightly different approach today. We're going to try the 120 frames per second slow-mo. Now I can't get full 4K with that, it's only at HD. So what I'll do is it'll be upscaled, it'll still look really good, but I wanted to just capture some different video and photography. Now, both the Peregrines, I didn't see them when I walked out, which I thought great because they're going to be out hunting. So I was keeping my eyes peeled and I now started seeing them about. First of all, I saw the flutter of a pigeon off to my right, and then I saw the peregrine that was circling over this way start to come in a straight line as opposed to circling. And I saw a pigeon fly away, and the difference in speed, when I saw the peregrine go over, it was a rocket. It was unbelievable. It was really exciting. I ran up there and had a look to see if it had grabbed it off in the distance and was coming back, but I saw it emerge and it had failed, but flying around. I saw another attempt. I'm pointing because obviously like I said before, I'm trying to keep it a secret. I'm not trying to give the location away, even though this is going to be put out way after the fledging. But I saw it come down, it did a dive, and the one picture I got is distant. I'm not going to show it, not going to bother. But the claws were out, so it obviously went for something. It's been interesting watching the pigeons land relatively close to the birds, knowing full well that the peregrines at a close distance, without the speed or surprise, aren't going to catch them or do anything. Eventually, I kept the camera in slow-mo. I did a bit of slow-mo filming of them moving around, nothing too close. And then I saw something emerge with a bird underneath it, peregrine. And I'm keeping my lens zoomed all the way in, none of this 800mm stuff, all the way back to make sure, even if it's just a dot, I'm actually getting the footage. And then I can zoom out as necessary. So I came in, I thought, right, it's going straight for the nest, because sometimes what they would do is they'd take it to a ledge, take the wings off, get it down to the meat, so the meat could go straight to the bird, the chicks. Didn't do that, went straight up and landed, and I go, okay, some feeding going on. Where are the chicks? No chicks to be found. It's a male, this looked like the male. It was looking around a bit, either bemused or like, waiting for the chicks. And I was getting a bit worried because I thought it was only last night that I was worried about only seeing the one. And I thought, has one disappeared? Was one sleeping? Have both disappeared overnight? I don't know. But I watched and I'm really hoping that if the birds were gone, the parents would know and they wouldn't even bother going back. So I watched and I just assume that they're sleeping. I'm really hoping they're sleeping, they're well fed, and therefore the parent has to make sure it's going to bring the food for them first and then take it away and eat it. So I waited and I saw it land further up top, moved around a couple of times, and then flew around and landed on one of the perches it likes to go to eat. But what I noticed was it didn't start eating the carcass it took. It took a sort of very stumpy, it's hard to tell what it is, no wings, I think there's like one limb when I took it flying off in slow-mo, but it took it over there and it didn't eat. So I'm hoping everything is well fed, so well fed that they're just bringing back food just in case, because I'm sure that food will keep for a day or so, an emergency food. Because I remember when I filmed the hobbies last year, the parents weren't around for a while, and every so often I'd still see the chicks sort of picking at something. Obviously they'd left carcasses and things for them to eat on, to chew. And eventually, while I was watching the male on the perch, the female flew over my head. I was not catching that in flight. It just appeared out of nowhere. You'd have to be super dedicated to be able to catch these birds running around the place to get them to sort of preempt where they're going to be. But it landed up there with a big bird, looked like a pigeon this time, no parakeet. And it didn't eat. It just kind of it sort of stood there for a while, showed off its amazing shape and size. It looked at me, looked around what was going on, and then just wiped its beak on the edge and didn't start eating. So as far as I know, there's at least one carcass on one side. Well, actually, no, the male left the other carcass on the other side. So there's two carcasses, and she's not there anymore, he's there. I don't know if that means she's off trying to get more, so they've got like a big larder of food. But he's over there at the moment. I can't see where she's gone. There are no chicks. So at the moment, nothing going on. And I think we'll call it a day there. We've captured enough for today. And yeah, we'll go from there. I think that's plenty. I'm going to get something to eat. So a bit of a worrying update today. A couple of days ago, I saw one of the chicks being fed. It took a couple of bites and then looked disinterested. I didn't see the other chick. So I thought maybe the other chick's sleeping. They're really well fed. Yesterday, I came out, I didn't see any chicks at all. I didn't see any heads bobbing up. They should be big enough now that they poke over the side, but they're not. Parent, I think it was the male, went back with a kill, looked around, maybe thought they're not hungry, I'm hoping they're sleeping, and flew away. I saw both of the parents over on their perch having put away 2 carcasses. I came back twice that day, didn't see any chicks, and when I went to work, I was able to sort of look round through my window back up, and I didn't see any movement. I didn't see any birds perched up, because 2 days ago, I saw both on sentry duty at night when I was going to work. And last night I didn't see them, and I couldn't see the heads bobbing up as well when I went to work last night. So today I've been out, I came over and I saw one of the peregrines on the perch feeding. Okay, that's a good sign. I came down to look at the nest. Visibly straight away, I couldn't see any heads bobbing up or down. And I made my way further down the road to get a better look up. Nothing. I saw a couple of the peregrines flying around, circling, and then one went up and landed on the nest. And I thought, okay, this is going to be interesting. It didn't have a kill, but it went in, sort of went around, had a little preen, and then it looked like it was moving things around. And for a brief second, I thought I saw a leg go up, something that's dead. Now I thought, I hope that's a kill and not one of the chicks. But it had a preen, it looked very casual, and the female was sitting at the top. And for a second, even though the audio is not great because of the distance, it called up using a call I haven't heard before. Now, is that cool? Yeah, they didn't make it. We need to try again. Everything's okay. I don't know, but it's not good. I've been doing bird watching for 5 years, and I've picked up a lot of bird behavior. I've got a lot of instincts because of it. I can see things. I can sort of work out what's going on. Even though I've not seen something happen before, I can work it out. I've seen a lot of nature programs, and I'm really, really not getting a good feeling about this. But yeah, it's a bit gutting. I'm not going to do that. It's really, like go into a whole sort of tirade about it. Nature's so cruel, and yeah, nature's like that. That's to be expected. I mean, how many birds had to die to feed those chicks? So it's just a natural. I mean, what happened to them? Was the pollution from the road too much? Were they poisoned through the food? But then the parents didn't get sick from the food. I did see. I mean, obviously you saw in some of the clips before, in one of the other vlogs, that the parent was coughing up something. There was a lot of mucus coming out and food. Maybe it just got to a bit it couldn't digest. It was bringing up a pellet, or it got to a bit that was poisonous and got it out. And they may have fed the chick a bit of food that the chick didn't know how to get up, or wasn't in a position to do that. Its body wasn't adapted to sort of do that just yet. And it could have eaten something. Worst case, I thought maybe someone stole the chicks. I mean, it's not hard, I'd say, not impossible to get up there if you desperately wanted the chicks. Could somebody have gone in the middle of the night? I was thinking maybe they have security cameras and they can go back over the last couple of days and have a check. I've contacted the London Peregrine Partnership again. I've asked them, has anybody been keeping notes? Because obviously with this, I'm coming along, filming, doing vlogs, but I'm not telling anybody what's going on because they are Schedule 1 birds. So there could be people like me who are keeping tags of what's going on, but keeping it to themselves. And maybe they've seen something. I don't know. Anything could have happened. So what I'll do is I'll come for the next few days. Maybe they'll lay some eggs and try again. That's just what happens. If they work out that this isn't a good position for them to have the nest, they think, okay, we're going to have to do it somewhere else because whatever's going on here, the chicks are dying. They're not surviving. I'll keep coming out. I'm not going to post this for a little while until I speak to the Peregrine Partnership, my local WhatsApp group, and maybe they can send a drone up or something and check if the chicks have died, and then maybe they could do an autopsy. I don't know, but not good, not good. Yeah, I think it's safe to say the chicks are no longer alive. There's no way. I think this is the 3rd day I haven't seen them. I've been coming back and forth, odds and ends, going to work, looking back. There's just no way. I haven't seen the parents there feeding. Yesterday, I saw the male up on the perch feeding on something that looked a bit unusual. Could have been a pigeon, But peregrines are known, I've seen the video, to eat their chicks if they don't survive, the ones that don't make it. If the stronger one survives, it could have been that. And I just got there at the wrong or the right time, whatever way you want to look at it. I thought I might get a series of vlogs out of this. Looks like it's not going to happen. So 2 vlogs at the moment. I just had a really good, spectacular fly past with the slow-mo. I managed to keep it on the bird most of the time. It looks pretty good. I mean, that's what I'm going to get, unfortunately. I'm not going to see any grown-up chicks, but I've been going right back as far as I could to try and peer over the nest area and hopefully see anything moving. So yeah, just my instincts. I've been doing birding long enough to sort of understand and know things, but it's been good. I've been looking at all the different behavior, the birds around. There's been crows, magpies, sparrows, wood pigeons, what are they called? Gulls as well. Just seeing how the interaction, if they affect the peregrines, they don't. But yeah, what a shame. There you go. But I'll keep coming back for about a week before I post this, just in case there's some weird random event I don't see coming, or they try again, they nest somewhere else. Somebody did mention, I spoke to the Peregrine partnership. Oh, a grey heron. I want to keep the location relatively secret, although it's kind of obvious. It just, yeah, is it gone? Yeah, it's gone. But I spoke to the Peregrine partnership and they said what it could be was a young, first time couple of parents, and they didn't know where to put a nest. They had no experience, and they put it, he still says it was a really bizarre place to build a nest. Crazy place because of all the different factors, especially it being so low. And this time they'll probably go, okay, I can't do that, and they'll learn from that. They're not imprinted with that kind of, especially buildings that haven't been around for thousands of years. So there you go. Okay, so this saga might not be over. I just came out today. I didn't expect to see anything, maybe see the parents going around. And I still had my cover over my camera, not expecting to see anything. I was looking at my phone, and then I heard a call. It's quickly scrambled, took the cover off the camera and looked up. The female had been up the back somewhere. She wandered down and went into the nest and started moving stuff around. And I was half expecting, am I going to see a chick? Am I going to see a dead chick? Nesting material. I thought there's no way it's going to have more eggs and nest in the same place if the chicks died. But if the chicks died, maybe it was for another reason. It knows why they died. They got sick, poisoned, whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that location. So they're going again. Very exciting stuff. So this could be a real kind of roller coaster of a series. I'm just going to keep coming back every time I can, sort of half an hour here, an hour there, and filming the behavior. The female came to the edge and I flicked the camera on to slow-mo, 120 frames per second. And I had to wait quite a long time for her to jump off, but she did jump off. And yeah, really good bit of slow-mo there, and flew off west. Loads of pigeons. I saw pigeons going up everywhere, and I've been waiting for about 20 minutes and haven't seen them come back. So nothing going on the perches where they usually bring kills. Is there anything to be happened? Actually, no, that's just gold. No, there are gulls going around at the moment. But I've contacted the partnership. I said, what we need to do is somehow get a view up there, drone, I don't know, see what's going on. Are the chicks definitely dead? Have they laid more eggs? Is she just getting the nest ready for more eggs? Because is she able to lay them in a couple of days? I don't know. Does she store them just in case one fails and they need to get that brood out quickly? I don't know. But very exciting times. I'll keep coming back and observing. So when I arrived today, one of the peregrines trying to bring a pellet up, it went for quite a while and nothing came up. So I'm always trying to catch something different because there's a lot of sitting around on perches at the moment and not doing much. And if I'm going to do these vlogs, I have to have something interesting to show you. So about 10 minutes in, the female came in from the right with a kill, very obviously in her talons. And she came back and went round to the nest area. But what I realized was she actually didn't go to the nest. I ran round, she'd gone up top and she was moving around. And I'm ever hopeful that for some reason these chicks pop out from their hiding place, or they're in there somewhere, they just haven't bothered to come out, they're just sleeping. I should stop fantasizing about that. It's not going to happen, Justin. It obviously looked like it had been stored somewhere or she'd been working on it. So she brought it back. She must have had her fill. She put it back on the perch where they feed, and the male got to work on it. And I just watched him for a little while. There was a bit of opportunity for flight shots. Yeah, I was there for about an hour. So yeah, I mucked around with slow-mo and flight shots, and some of the flight shots are really nice. Lighting's not ideal. You want blue sky. So the underside and upper parts are exposed to the same level, but yeah, you make do with what you got. I mean, these are the best photos I've ever gotten of Peregrine Falcons, so I can't complain about that. As I'd kind of, you know, not got anything more to show on the chick side, and I'd got plenty of stuff feeding and sitting on perches and things like that, I thought, what else can I do? So yeah, like I just said, I flicked to slow-mo. They were moving around quite a lot, so I got lots and lots of slow-mo footage. I had to be prepared for them coming around the side of buildings, always starting off with my camera zoomed back to 200 millimeters and then going in, because I couldn't, but they were actually quite low down. I couldn't use 800 millimeters. So yeah, a lot of 200 mil. And if I felt that the bird was hovering a bit, which it did sometimes, because moving with this lens at anything like above 400 or 500 mil, the camera stabilizer shakes in and causes all sorts of problems. But I'd use what's called the 120 frames per second. It's hidden a bit in the menu system of the R7. You don't actually get 4K with it, but when you upscale the HD, it looks really good. I noticed a lot of people have to do that with their cameras. The only way to get that super high frame rate is in HD, because yeah, editing it later as well is just going to melt your computer's CPU with the processing. I mean, I'm just editing photos and video, and my computers are red hot sometimes, and the editing Capcut program just, I turn my back and look back and it shut itself down. I maybe need to think of getting a more powerful computer, at least for the editing side of the video. A couple of times they did stop back at the nest, and I'm wondering if they're putting more material in there to have more eggs. Spoken to the Peregrine partnership, suggestion that could they be laying again? They said no, they wouldn't do it, they've missed their window. So who knows what's going to happen, but I'll keep observing them because they're still around. And when I went to walk away, I mean, I could only stay there an hour a day, otherwise it gets a bit tedious, but sometimes you walk away and something starts happening. And when I got up halfway up my road and looked back, a gull had gone for the male on the perch, and obviously it knew a kill had been taken there, and it chased it off. But the male couldn't handle it because his gull was much bigger, and then the female came along. Bye bye gull. The female is a beast, but they're both there. Let's say parakeet pests. I'm going to have to do a video on those. But yeah, so far I'm still getting loads of good footage. I'm going to keep going back. I went back today, and that was a couple of days ago. Last night I went out, I didn't see any at all, and I thought, is that them gone? But as of today, I've seen them again. So when I did arrive back at the building, the male was on his perch, looking a bit sleepy. I was wondering if I was going to actually do any filming or anything like that. And then I saw the female arrive round to the nest area. So I ran round, grabbing my camera, and looked in, and she was down, hunkered down in the nest, moving things around. And I filmed it for a little while, wondering what she was going to do. Was she going to pull something back up, a kill, any chicks? I should stop hoping for that. But making the nest again, making a fresh nest. But she just moved around, preened a little bit, and then she jumped up on the ledge and had another little scratch. And just filmed the film. So I just thought anything that happens, any little bits of footage for the vlog was filming. And I filmed from the sort of, how can I explain it, from the southeast side. And I thought, I've done enough here. I'm going to get a bit closer, because at this point I'm on 4K crop. I'm quite a distance. And I'm having to sort of film in 3 or 4 second clips because my image stabilizer is fighting me in the 4K crop mode, as I've said before. So I got onto the other side of the road where I was directly in front. And as I was crossing the road, I could already see there was another head in the back. It was both peregrines. I thought, this is brilliant. This is the first time I've been able to get them both in the frame. So I started firing off loads of shots with them both in frame. For a change, that's great. I wanted to see how sharp I could get both of them in the shot, but obviously with the female behind, I needed some aperture. Now, if you know anything about aperture photography, you don't go too high, you don't go too low, otherwise you start getting soft photos. There are usually what's called a sweet spot. And I've been hanging around f8 and f9. So tried going up f16, f22, all the way up. My lens, I can't believe, goes up to, I think, f36. I'll show you the pictures, but they're much softer than my usual photos. So it's a compromise. You want both birds sharp. When there's a distance between them, then, you know, a bit of a compromise. I don't know the physics or the science of that. It just is what it is. So I took multiple photos, trying to get them closer together, visibly in the frame, before I moved to some video. And it's very windy, so I'm filming in sort of 4 and 5 second clips, putting it together to show you. And she looks like she's tired at the back and very casual. I mean, that's the nest area. Again, I don't know what's going on. Maybe they just literally, because they're just expected to be having chicks and feeding them, that they're just hanging about with not knowing what to do with themselves. Because what have they got to do now? Just feed themselves, look after themselves, when they should be probably every year. If they're not new parents, they're probably used to bringing up chicks every year, or it's in their DNA to do that. So they're literally at this point in the year, May, June, they have no idea. So they're just kind of hanging around and feeding what's going around. So at least that's a little bit of extra stuff to go into the vlog. And I'll just keep doing them until they disappear. Obviously, again, you won't be seeing this until they're properly gone, because I don't want to upset anyone that I gave away any locations for anything. They've officially gone. That's why you're seeing this. Okay, I'll see you for the next catch up.